Irritable bowel syndrome is a kind of annoying diagnosis, don't you think? Maybe you've been diagnosed with IBS or irritable bowel syndrome and gone through all manner of different types of treatment protocols, which include, oh, well, maybe try a low FODMAP diet, or maybe just try this antidepressant medication that might help your irritable bowel syndrome. Have you tried avoiding stress? Maybe that's the cause of your IBS. And you went around and around in loops like this, and then eventually ask someone, well, why is my bowel so irritable in the first place? Have I done something to upset it? Or have I failed it in some way? And no one can really answer what has triggered your IBS in the first place. Well, I really love going into some detective work in irritable bowel syndrome and trying to figure out what made the gut so irritable in the first place. And I often find three things commonly pop up. Number one, there's issues with digestion. Number two, there's issues with the bacteria in the gut microbiome being out of balance in some way. And number three, there's issues with a leaky gut or intestinal hyperpermeability issue. So, unpacking these a little bit more, the first one on digestion issues. All of us are rather stressed out in our life. We are overstressed, underslept, overworked, and having so much on our plates that we really don't have time, I guess, to do the whole rest and digest phase of life and living. In fact, because of our high fight and flight mode, sympathetic drives, our stomach has actually learnt to downregulate how much stomach acid and enzymes actually get produced. Now, this is a big issue. None of us are sitting quietly to eat, to allow our stomach acids and juices to really break things down well. And the result is that things are coming into our intestine more partially digested than they should be. And our stomach acids are actually at a reduced level than they ideally should be for optimal digestion. And then we have such calorically rich diets, so high in sugar, carbs, and low in fiber, that we've got a perfect storm of unhappy guts from maldigestion. There are ways we can test this. I do it all the time with a comprehensive digestive stool analysis, looking to see if you've got issues with carb, protein, or fat malabsorption. And we can see this microscopically in the stool from undigested particles in these three macronutrient arenas. Issue number two. Do you have an issue with dysbiosis? Abnormal bacterial populations that are skewed towards inflaming your gut environment rather than having things all nicely settled, non inflamed. This can be because of abnormal bad pathogens or more gram negative bacteria that produce a molecule that incites inflammation called lipopolysaccharide. Or it could be the fact that you just have far too many bacteria in your small intestine than you should. This is a condition called SIBO, which is becoming so much more prevalent and talked to be about 60 to 70% of all cases of irritable bowel syndrome. If there's an issue with dysbiosis, we should weigh in on this problem by rectifying the right microbial balance in the microbiome. And wonderful new evidence points to prebiotic and probiotic like approaches to really rectifying the balance of gut microbiome. Third, have the above two, maldigestion and dysbiosis imbalances, led to leaky gut? There are a lot of things that can lead to a leaky gut. Enough inflammation of the gut lining will weaken the tight junctions between our colon cells, that one cell layer thick defense against the microbes of the gut, of which there are 40 trillion just in the large intestine alone. And then the other side of the cell defense, which is 70% of our immune system, which is going to decide whether it's under threat or if it's all okay. Will there be inflammation, yay or nay? A leaky gut will actually create more inflammatory response from an immune system unhappy with receiving too many bacterial or fungal or even food-like molecules that are getting where they shouldn't between the junctions of our colon cells. These three big themed reasons are often at play in a patient's irritable bowel syndrome. I love to test to prove what's going on in the gut microbiome at the gut junctions. If they're leaky or no, we can test for this too. And whether there's any issues with maldigestion, and putting the pieces together can create a more targeted protocol, more than just the avoid stress, more than just the low FODMAP diet forever approach to understanding why your bowel became so irritable. If you wanted to pull on a few of these threads in our detective work, feel free to reach us at Merge Health Practice. Thanks.